From the amazing minds behind such useful items as the smash hit gift of last holiday season, the yellow snow thrower, the binary trigger exotic without any real reason to exist, and the 3-round burst rifle, because Destiny has cool burst fire rifles, so we should too. Just not cool. Mostly terrible. Now comes the next must-have item for any collector. Hurry for your chance at this limited time offer. While supplies last, you can own your very own 93R burst fire pistol. But wait, there's more. Order in the next 30 minutes and get delivery absolutely free. Plus, as a special thank you, we will punish you with a free blue screen exotic. Now, in all fairness, the 93R actually is one of those pistols that I've really wanted to use, and that goes back to Division 1 when I actually had a bleed and burn pistol that was just amazing for hunting down rogues. The problem is, this thing is kind of a finger breaker, which is part of the reason why I actually named it for the build. This thing is a finger breaker, and I literally mean that. This thing could possibly cause injury to your finger if you try to engage it with max RPM. And that's because you have to click the trigger or the mouse button basically 6 times a second, a little bit over 6 times a second, to actually get the max RPM on this gun. It's very frustrating and it is exhausting. I mean, just one mission and you pretty much don't want to play the game anymore. However, it is fun, at least, in the short period of time that you can use it. It is enjoyable to play around with this again, but it's something that I've been attempting numerous times in the game, right? It is something that I've been attempting when they originally came out with Striker, because obviously it built stacks, and this is a fast fire pistol, so you want stacks. When they came out with the revamped Striker, I wanted to try it because, again, it was a revamped Striker, so maybe this would be even better. Maybe it would finally work. And of course, I'm trying it once again because of Heartbreaker. Obviously, Heartbreaker is, for all intents and purposes, roughly 3 times stronger than Striker is. Not only are you getting the damage buff per stack, but you're also able to get additional bonus armor per stack. So because of this, I really took the chance and just wanted to fully invest into a 93R build. So what I've done is, obviously, I've paired it with the shield and the Artificer Hive for, pretty much obvious reasons. And of course, like the name suggests, 4-piece Heartbreaker with a punch-drunk mask and a Memento backpack. Now, the Memento gives me stacks on kill, which aids in my damage bonus for the pistol, which is pretty low damage. And of course, the mask gives me that increased headshot damage. Now, for most of my rolls, what you're going to see is basically just armor and weapon damage with a mix of headshot damage and repair skills. Obviously, repair skills for the Artificer Hive, headshot damage for the pistol, since I am trying to get the pulse from headshots, obviously, to stack Heartbreaker. That just makes sense. Now, obviously, Memento is giving me that weapon damage and that armor, but it's also giving me the skill tier, which, when combined with the Technician specialization, is going to give me 2 skill tiers. So all this together will end up giving me a tier 6 shield, and then a tier 2 Artificer Hive, which is roughly repairing my shield for about 60% every 10 seconds. Now, of course, since this is actually a pretty tanky build, and I've got a shield, I did include the ACS-12 just to help me build stacks in the beginning of a fight, but my main weapon is going to be this 93R with damage to target out of cover, and my talent is going to be Lucky Shot. Now, the real reason I'm using Lucky Shot is just because it gives me 20% more ammo for my magazine, and that, of course, just allows me to actually spray more bullets, for a little bit longer. It probably isn't the best talent, just generally considering all the available options. It probably isn't the best talent because this pistol actually goes back a few years to a different build I was actually trying to make with a M1A and also Lucky Shot, just kind of spraying and praying from behind cover. But it's the best one I got. I don't really see that many 93Rs in the game. I don't really get that many, and most of the ones that I get are terrible, and who keeps them? I mean, honestly. So I was kind of, having to deal with slim pickings. But if I was to probably choose a more upgraded version, I'd probably try to go with Flatline on it. There's maybe some other options maybe you could go with. I think there's one that something like the Lightning Rod has where it just reloads on kill. That might be beneficial for this pistol because then you can just keep spraying and praying. But honestly, I don't think that really matters that much until they fix burst fire weapons. Now, of course, burst fire weapons are supposed to kind of come with their own pluses and minuses, but in actuality, most of it is just minuses. You can't really aim or manipulate your weapon very much while you're trying to, just spam weapon clicks the entire time. It just doesn't work very well. It's extremely difficult. Now, of course, if they want to actually make this usable without making it just, ungodly with damage, because that's really what they'd have to do. They'd have to increase the damage by just a metric crap ton. But if they want to actually make this into a more usable, more kind of commonplace weapon, a good starting point would be to keep it burst fire, but allow that burst fire to just happen automatically while you hold the trigger down. So it would be like 3-round burst, followed by a third of a second stop, and then another 3-round burst. So that way you wouldn't have to keep spamming the trigger over and over again, making it just inaccurate and unusable. And I know people are going to say something like, well, that's the whole point. It's supposed to be a burst fire. It's supposed to, spam the trigger over and over again. But you don't really get rewarded for that in the game. There's no real DPS boost compared to fully automatic or semi-automatic weapons. The burst fires just kind of fit in this very terrible niche that is nearly unwieldy and unusable. So at least faking it a little bit and making them somewhat automatic, but in a burst fire mode, I think would be much more beneficial to the actual playstyle. The only other option is to really just bump up the damage to some insane level and hopefully encourage players to kind of take on that risk and that annoyance. But also nowadays with third-party hardware being, compatible with Xbox controllers or PlayStation controllers, you could definitely see some abuse likely to take place if they did bring this weapon basically outside of its normal range. So I think that's why making it fully burst fire automatic, if that's a thing, however you'd want to call it, right? If they did that just let it burst fire by itself without actually having to spam the trigger over and over again, giving you access to that max RPM more consistently, then I think that it would be a usable pistol. It would be probably one of my favorites. Now, of course, I think it's well past time that they added different pistols into the game. I think there should be a fully automatic pistol or a shotgun style revolver, but I don't know why the devs haven't put those in the game yet, at least as some sort of exotic. That would definitely be interesting for pistol builds. Possibly having some sort of special buff when you're not having the shield equipped, I mean, there could be some cool things that they do with it that go beyond just pure shield use. So let's hope they actually do something in the next year. Maybe they add something to this kind of build. Maybe they encourage pistols to be, good without a shield. Maybe they encourage pistols to actually be fun and interesting themselves. But anyway, thank you guys for watching this video. I'll see you in the next one.